what an honor it is to bring in a cat who has been on the bandstand for the last 70 plus years with geniuses like Woody Herman and Dizzy Gillespie. He started out in the hotbed of Camden, New Jersey, but looking forward to breaking down the early part of his career. Seminole professor at Berklee College of Music. Frank Tiberi, welcome to the Jake Feinberg Show.
Yes, I'm here to answer your questions.
It is an honor to have you, brother. I just wanted you to talk a little about when you got hip to the the club scene in Inglewood Cliffs. That was, happening after those Jimmy McGriff sessions or those Prestige sessions, or was there a scene in Camden that you were into?
Well, you're talking about the sessions in Philadelphia. That's mostly what I did my work, and a lot of clubs in Philadelphia at that time were operating, and being in Camden, New Jersey, or at that particular time. I was, doing work around the area, also in Jersey as well. We had some things, also with the great musicians around town. Looking over.
I was going to ask you. There's one cat I wanted to ask you about. Is Sam Reed? Did you know him?
Sam Reed.
Yeah, Camden. He was a Camden cat.
Oh God, that's a little earlier. That's even as early. Sam Reed, yeah.
I mean, Spider Kelly's in Philadelphia. You were playing those gigs, right?
I don't know. No, Spider Kelly. I don't know. No, I was playing, gigs in Philadelphia. Yeah. Name some names.
I'm curious. No, so this is really fascinating. Growing up in Camden, Buster Williams grew up in Camden as well. And Sam Reed was his teacher, but I'm just curious how you got into the Philadelphia club scene. Do you just show up at a
Well, the thing is, all my work was in a club in Philadelphia. At that time, I was playing musical shows, and I was going around, playing clubs. That particular time was during, I was, being supporting the family by doing the musical shows, and
I'm curious about. I mean, was it the Showboat, or what were some of the clubs that you were playing? Essentially, theater performances, or were these like instrumental gigs?
No, they were only just. They weren't like high end gigs. Actually, I never worked the Showboat. That's where Train used to come in and work.
That's right. That's right.
And and then right around the corner was the what's the name of the around the corner? There was another club around. Anyway, there were smaller clubs that were available that we used to play, and also the. What's
Yeah, no, I know a couple of clubs and I'm forgetting them too. It's driving me crazy right now.
Yeah,
it's okay. So you were in that. I would love you to just talk about, like, early on, the oral tradition that was taught to you, the language of this music, and how it was taught to you orally. If there's one example of the message that you got early on, where you were able to. Where your ears grew the most on the bandstand?
Well, what are you talking? You're talking about the Woody Herman Band?
Even way before that. I mean, the bottom line.
Before that, well,
yeah.
Way before that, at the age of 15, I was working in a club in Jersey, and that was, and then after that, when I became 19 or 20, my friend Johnny Hyman recommended me to Bob Chester's band, which at that time it was a jazz band, and we were doing some gigs, traveling around, and I got the 1935 Chevrolet with with five guys in a seat, and we were traveling around with our horns and our suits ready to play because we never knew when the U-Haul truck would come with our suitcases. At that time, that was it. And then after that, of course, I went back into the studios, rather in Philadelphia, just a showboat. That's where all the high end acts in the Pepsi Musical Bar.
Peps, that very good Peps. Dude, Yusef Lateef would come in there. When was the first time that you got a chance to play one of those clubs?
No, the only time I never played those clubs actually. No, just but I went to them many times actually.
Well, no, I would love you to talk about that because you had Hassan Ibn Ali, you had Jimmy Heath, you had Train. I'm just like Tiberi. You were learning. I just would love you to paint the picture of how, if it was that innocent a time. I'm 45. I'm sort of just, trying to bring those vibes into the modern era. But I'd love you to talk about just the essence of that scene when you go and checking those cats out.
Well,
Kenny Barron told me that he saw Elvin and Train one night, go at it for 40 minutes, and they didn't repeat one idea. Just one random night in Philly.
Talking about the showboat now there's going to be a centennial coming up of Train, his age 100. And what I did is I recorded them. Every time I went to see him, I recorded them, and actually, what I did, I just sold the rights to Universal. They're going to be shown. What they're going to be.
That's awesome. Awesome.
I'm sorry.
That is awesome. That's fantastic.
Oh yeah. So I've been sitting on them for 60 years actually, ever since 1960, and that's the time when I went to see Pep's Musical Bar and Showboat. Just about, and all the cats were coming in there and playing. I saw, Train and Miles and the Cannonball, with Bill Evans, and these were the acts they were floating around. They were on tour, and as I say and Chick Corea. And that was the hot place actually of the Philadelphia area, the Philadelphia scene.
But you think that first of all, I need to know that because Brother Garzone told me that story that Universal bought the rights to those tapes, which is so great. What was your recording rig for those concerts?
I had a small tape recorder, and it was reel to reel.
So great. So it was reel to reel.
That's the only thing that was out at that particular time. There were no digital things, actually. Really high end things. And I had to wind them up and everything. Under a coat and everything. I didn't want anybody to see anything. Actually, I didn't divulge anything that I was doing. But I was concerned about Train. He just really snapped at me, actually. He said, I just wanted to know exactly what he was doing. And the only way I can do that is to record him and come home and listen to them, actually. And I have about 300 complete, selections that he's done.
Wow.
And, he did things like 35 minutes, 30 minutes, right on through, because he wasn't concerned about the audiences, He wasn't concerned about 10 million people. What do you do, 35 minutes on a tune? No, he was in the club. He just was able to just do exactly what he did. So that was the best time to really catch him. The fact that he wasn't. And the club only hosted about maybe about 75 or 100 people. And of course, it was $1 beer, and you could there's no cover charge to come in or anything. It was the times, no question about that. Actually.
Oh, that is. Well, I want to be clear about something. But 1960 was Train already going through the thesaurus of scales and playing free, or was it still the tail end of like
1960 it was 60, 61, 62,
right?
and in 63, he was his wife joined him, and he had they were actually practicing on and it really didn't appeal to me too much, to record anything, because I really couldn't get anything that would service me actually, and so I never really, and that was it that I closed.
So you're talking about with Alice later, but I'm curious about when you were recording him. Was that the classic quartet with Elvin and Jimmy?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, that was a quartet. Yeah, that was when he first came out. And with the giant steps and all that. That was the first time he came out. Actually, I mean, there's so many things that he did over there. I mean, I have a cut of giant steps that he played very melodically. God, I mean, it was nothing like the way he recorded it. and so he did all different things. And one thing, I never saw him at the bar. He never came into the bar actually. When he was through, he went into wherever his room, and never came out.
No, he would just keep playing. He just Jimmy Cobb told me, he's like, Train during intermissions at the Apollo, he'd have his horn in his mouth, just practicing, just playing.
Never came out.
Never stopped.
Yeah. He was just back in the back room. I guess he was practicing, and I don't know what he was doing.
What was your at that time, because you were ensconced doing jingle work and commercials in the studios and stuff. When Love Supreme came out, was that something that you studied hard and wanted to? Was that what you're talking about when you said I was trying to figure out what he was doing?
No, the countdown thing that we came out with actually when you recorded.
Yeah,
that's the thing that really snapped me. The Solominsky, the division, the 12 chords that he, that was he substituted. He inserted the two chords in the 2/5. In other words, it was the whole tones is what
whole tones, yeah.
And that was the equal divisions of the 12 of the octave. That was the 3 parts. That's the one that he came out with. That was the whole the countdown. So that really snapped to me. So right now, actually, what I'm doing in school, that's the thing in which I'm teaching my students actually. And I'm using them not to do the whole tones at one time, the 3 tones at one time, but I mean I'm having them. I have a concept that they would extract parts of it and use them as inserts, deceptive inserts. So that really helps me to do a thing like that.
Let me ask you, did you, everyone would say, Mickey Roker, freaking listening to Mickey today with Dizzy Gillespie was unbelievable. When did you play with Dizzy in a small ensemble?
Well, I played with Dizzy when he came into Jersey, and that was a thing where they wanted a tenor player or so to play with them. So I got the gig and I went to play with him, and he said, "Where did you come from?"
Oh.
Those things. No, and then with the band, we had some concerts that he was playing and joined the band, and we had and that was it. But Mickey Roker, I played with him many nights actually. And
at that time, can you just talk about the leadership style of, I mean, I see so many cats today, my generation and younger, they got music stands on the bandstand. I mean, dude, that was a rehearsal to Dizzy Gillespie. That was a rehearsal to McCoy Tyner and Coltrane. I mean, did he give you? Did he just count off tunes and you had a swing?
Yeah, that's what he did. Sure, we didn't practice anything. I was just an invited guest, and I knew the fellow that had the club, and he wanted, he just called me to come in and play with this, and of course he was, the things that we did with the Woody Herman Band. This was playing with the band that the gig we did at the with the Woody and the Woody what's the name, that the last Woody and Friends.
Yeah, sure.
Dizzy Gillespie, Woody Shaw, Stan Getz, and Dizzy was there actually.
That is so freaking. But can you just talk about why they loved Woody? I mean, everybody loved Woody, but I mean, Woody Shaw, Dizzy. I mean, those are like the two genius trumpet players of all time.
Yeah, and then we didn't win the Grammy at that time. What was his name? We didn't win the Grammy.
Yeah.
I don't know why, because I mean it was such a great thing. Everybody was just blown, and that's the time when I wrote a chart on Countdown, and we played that too as well. And it's a great album actually. I don't know, Woody and Friends, right? It's called.
Did you So ultimately, everybody would say if you're gonna make it in the business, you gotta go to New York. Did you wind up moving to New York at some point?
No, I didn't. Actually. Most of my time was with Woody for 20 years.
No, and what I'm saying is, so you're playing with different cats, and then ultimately,
I played with George Garzone in New York. Actually, we did a concert, and we're doing a concert over here in another club. Actually, it's coming up. It's like a Chinese place, actually.
It's fantastic. I was going to say, how did you meet? Was Dizzy your connection to Woody Herman? How did you connect with Woody?
Well, let's see, with Woody. Bill Chase, you know the name?
Yeah,
Bill
sure,
Chase?
Sure.
He was in the band. He was the road manager. And what he did was, I was in Wildwood, and I had a band there, and we were doing things with Don Rickles and all that, the Fifth Dimensions and all that. And after that, I was really frustrated, so I went into to the beach, and I got a little pad on the beach or something, and I hung out. And I told my mother, I don't want no calls. And so Bill Chase called my mother, and of course he spoke in Italian, and my mother, just divulged my phone number. And so he called me and he asked me if I wanted to join the band. But before that, the band came into Philadelphia, and Sal Nistico knew me. And the tenor player, what's his name? Anyway, he wasn't able to make it actually, and Sal, suggested me coming in playing lead for the one night, and I did that, and that's the way Woody also heard me at that time. So Sal Nistico, so that's basically that was just the first time that I have I've been recognized, and after that the Bill Chase thing came in.
Hold on a second. I want to be clear though. Was it Don Menza couldn't make it, or someone couldn't make the gig, and Nistico was?
No, it wasn't Don Menza. No, it was.
The point is that Nistico was touring with Woody, and they needed you. They needed a tenor player, and Sal.
Oh yeah, when they came to Philadelphia, they had a gig over there, and the tenor player wasn't able to really make it that one night. And I'm trying to find his name, but God almighty. And Frank Vicari, right? Frank Vicari was the lead player, and he couldn't make it that night. So Sal suggested, give me a call and come in. And I went in there and I played it, and just that one night. And of course, when they went to New Orleans, Frank Vicari just left the band, and they called him, and that's when Bill Chase got to me.
I see. So what, did you drive down there, or you flew down there and just joined
Oh
the...
no, no, I went to Kansas City or something, and I met the band. They were doing like a what did they do? They were doing all the gigs that at what is it? Oh.
I was going to ask you about. You're not going to gloss over this because your discography online starts with Woody Herman. So
Yeah.
you were in Wildwood with your band, and were you going to Brunswick and doing studio work for the Fifth Dimension and stuff?
No, I was a leader of the band, and then these were the acts that were playing there for the Wildwood game.
Oh my God! Wait, hold on. You were the horn section for all the bands that came through?
No, I was the leader of the band. I got the band together, and we had to play for these acts that came in each week for a summertime. That was the 10 week, and that was the thing where I was contacted in Wildwood by Bill Chase.
Right, but I'm saying, like, so you would it'd be a 10-week summer gig, and like the Fifth Dimension would come.
I was the leader of the band, and I hired musicians actually to back up all these acts that came in.
I did. No, I mean, did you back up like Sammy Davis Jr. and some like stand-up acts like that kind of stuff?
No, the Fifth Dimensions and Don Rickles, and that was some others which I can't even remember.
And how was it, a small ensemble though, or was it a big band?
Oh, wait a minute, now you're breaking up.
Was it a small ensemble or a big band?
No, it was a band. It was a band. I mean, we had a full band. We had charts to play.
Wow. So it was essentially. Was there any opportunity to stretch out and like improvise a lot, or was it kind of a performance?
No. No. It was only a band that we just had. We did a lot of backing for the acts that came in over here. There wasn't anything. During the intermission, actually, we did some things, and that we'd be able to really stretch a bit. But most of it was I was controlling a band, and I was hiring different musicians, and to really suit the acts that came in to play.
Were there, who were some of the cats that were in that band? I mean, that must have been a pretty good paying gig.
No, it was all mostly local in Atlantic City, actually.
Wow.
And it wasn't really anybody that they were all musicians that really to cut the gig. All sax players and trumpet players and all that around the area.
Frank, I sort of going off in a different direction. I wanted to get your opinion on this because your arc on history and knowledge is much longer than mine, and I wanted to ask you specifically about the guys who came along. You were just getting settled in with Woody, but guys that were playing completely free, Albert Eiler, Archie Shepp, a lot of the jazzers, quote unquote, felt like they were just squeaking and squawking. There was no you couldn't tell what song it was. There weren't changes. There was no vocabulary reminiscent of what had come before it. They couldn't back up a singer at Carnegie Hall. And so a lot of these guys were like, they can't play. And then I talked to a lot of other cats who say those guys could play changes. They were just bored to death, and they were playing what they felt inside. And I just kind of wanted you to talk about the free guys and if you respected them, if they were actually really great musicians.
Well, no, I never really bothered to really, just to hear them actually, because if I felt the same way, I was pretty much of a melodic person actually. My mentors were Train and Charlie Parker and mostly Cohen, Al Cohen.
Al Cohen, yeah.
So I mean, these were the way I was playing actually. So I mean, I didn't. I was actually, I we're playing chords and everything. That's what I do in school right now. I mean, I teach everything. I teach all the chords and I teach everything. I get all the students that way. But no, I never went into harmonics or whatever whatever they call it. Just no, that's not. I mean, even well.
I dig. No, I completely understand. I respect it greatly. What can you talk right when you kind of came into Woody's band? I mean, the Summer of Love had gone through. Music was becoming much louder. The saxophone was being replaced by the guitar as the lead solo instrument. And I'm just wondering, like, did you guys wind up on Bill's? Well, first of all, what was the adjustment like when electronics started to come into the big band, like Fender Rhodes, electric bass? I remember Putter Smith telling me he showed up for a gig one night I was for a sub for Woody Herman's bass player, and he showed up with his upright, and they were like, this was like '74, and they were like, why'd you bring that? Where's your electric? And so he had to run back and get the electric. And I just wonder about if you could talk about that transition time going into.
Well, we had Andy Laverne used to come in and do a lot of the things that he would play, on the synthesizer. We wanted that in some of the arrangements that we played. I mean, and of course, but I mean, Andy Laverne, right?
A dear friend of Mike Richmond is good friends with him. The bass,
right?
Yeah.
Exactly. They have a couple of CDs out with Mike.
Yeah,
Richmond.
no, Andy Laverne played with Stan Getz too. But that dude was playing synth.
Oh, he was on the road with Getz, yeah.
Wait, hold on. That dude was playing synth in live Woody shows.
Well, yeah. Sometimes we use them actually on gigs. For some chicoria things or something like that. We had a gig with a whole concert. What's called and Andy came in and used it there also as well. And as I say, we kept it, in the bus. Every time we wanted something like that. Sometimes the pianos were so bad that we had to use them that
way. You're right. You didn't know what, but I mean, what about who was the? Did you have an amplified guitar player that would take solos, like if you were playing rock jazz?
No, we never had an amplifier, a guitar player.
Never had a guitar player.
No.
Wow.
No. We never had the guitar player. No, we recorded with some of the guitar players, but no, we have some albums that we recorded.
I was going to ask you, do you have any memories of that session that Woody did at Chess Records?
Chess Records
in Chicago. It was like Richard Evans was arranging, and all the.
That was before me.
Was that before you?
Me,
really?
Oh yeah, Richard Evans. He was doing all the MacArthur Park things and all that. That's when Chase was the road manager. No, Richard Evans. And after Richard Evans left, I came in and I introduced Giant Steps, and we won the Grammy. A couple of tunes from his selection, and we had Grammys back to back, and I introduced the bassoon in Woody's band.
Wow!
So these were the things that I changed the entire band around. I mean that we were doing all the train things, and all the guys in the band, were doing their own personal arrangements that they liked, and Woody accepted them. If they were great, he liked them. That's the way the band was doing so far as the track of music actually, and that's why we had my goodness, I mean 30 LPs, which right now students or nobody can even. You got to have them actually right now. If you can't buy them, all these great recording sessions that we had, with all the the arrangements that were done by all the musicians. If you like, if they like something, they would write it, and if I liked something, I would write it, and I would put my solo in it. And as I say, there's I even wrote something for Stan Getz. That was at the Hollywood Bowl, and we write things that we like. That was great. That's the reason why the band was nice to be with, actually, for the 20 years. It wasn't really stagnant, like the basic band,
That's a very interesting point. That's a very interesting point. What were you say before that? What were they before you got Giant Steps in there and the Train stuff? What were they playing?
Well, Richard Evans, they were doing all that. They were doing all. I don't know. I never.
Sort of like the pop rock, the folk rock of the mid '60s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
MacArthur Park.
Yeah.
And around that area, right?
You well, I was gonna say, did you?
Well, they were doing the original things like Caledonia and that one that makes your head so hard. And they were doing the regular things. His famous things. Actually, they were doing them right before that. We carried them too as well. I mean, we played them at concerts. We always opened up with Caledonia, things that he'd done before.
Were you working with Alan Broadbent at all?
Oh my God, Alan Broadbent, of course. I mean, he was. Oh, geez.
He's one of my heroes, dude.
Oh my God, Almighty! Just the really unfortunate thing is that we made those 2 CDs, with the band, and we had no distributor, or nothing. There's nobody that really heard about them. I mean, Alan Broadbent, it's incredible, man. He was the greatest. He really the greatest, actually.
I just want to read you something he said about Woody, and then I'll get you to respond in our interview. Woody was completely open. As long as it felt good, he was with it. Let's not forget that Bird and Dizzy played with Woody. They loved him. Dizzy didn't write Woody and me for nothing. The man had a lot of respect and a hard life. He could have taken the Glenn Miller route, but he loved the guys and being on the road. In a different country, he might be considered a national treasure. In this country, you're on your own. I can't tell you how many times we didn't have money for the Greyhound bus. We'd be stranded somewhere out in the Midwest trying to come up with some bread so we could get the bus to the next gig. Woody asked me to do something to his song Blues in the Night. Most of our gigs were at officers' clubs. Woodchopper's Ball, and my hair is down to my waist. You had these officers at the time of the Vietnam War who weren't too happy about that. Was Woody not treated fairly at the end of his life?
No, he was great. No, he wasn't. No, he was. No, nothing like that. No. Why do you think I stayed with him? I wouldn't be with him if I didn't. If I really didn't feel that that he was treated bad or so. It's just like her. No, he was treated very well. I mean, you talk about the Alan Broadbent. He wrote a selection that I had to play the bassoon that was incredible. It's just
it was Children of Lima.
There was another player. What's his name?
What was it like? Children of Lima or something? Was some sort of like?
It was Come Saturday Morning.
Wow.
You ever hear that?
No.
You never heard that?
I'm gonna have to check that out immediately. You were on bassoon?
I was on bassoon. I played Davis and Chloe. Actually, I played the Ravel. I played a big solo. He wrote that for me, and the saxophone player was Greg Herbert. You ever hear his name?
Oh my God, dude! Is he still with us?
Greg Herbert?
Yeah.
Oh no, he died.
Dude, he was ridiculous player, man.
Well, he was. If you hear that tune, he did the solo, and I did the whole solo on the bassoon.
Holy cow!
You have that? Do you have that cut?
Well, I'm gonna find it online somewhere. That is insane. What's the name of the song?
Come Saturday morning.
Come
I'll
Saturday.
send it to you. Anyway, Greg Herbert. No, he went with blood and tears or
Blood,
whatever.
Sweat, and Tears. Yeah.
And they screwed him up. Actually, they just and that's the way he went out. He died. That was terrible.
When did you first cross paths with George Garzone?
Oh well, geez, it's been so long ago. Actually, just real long. I don't remember. I really don't actually.
Well, did you ever see that band? I'm just wondering if you got a chance to see the Fringe with John Lockwood, Bob Galati.
Yeah, I saw the Fringe many times. Yeah, and I used to go where they're playing actually and just sit in. That was a long time ago actually. But I don't remember the dates. That I've gotten to actually.
Well, I was just going to ask you about like
he knew me before because I was a little older and I was playing around it more. But our connection was with Joe Lovano.
Yeah. Can you talk about that connection with Joe?
Well, our connection with Joe Lovano, the three of us, we all got knew each other. Lovano was with the band. I got him with the band actually with Woody Herman after he came off with Jack McDuff. That was and of course I got him with the band. He came with the band for one night, and it was a sort of a windy night, and music was flying around and all that. He got up and did a solo, and at the end of the night, Woody came to me and he says, "What do you think? You think you have one?" I said, "Did you hear his solo?" And that was it.
Oh my God! Wait, well, he was on the road with Dr. Lonnie Smith.
Lonnie Smith too, and Jack McDuff too.
Oh, McDuff too?
I think so. Yeah.
So then wait, but when did you went back to the days of? Lovano and Garzone met at Berkeley. They're both from Cleveland. But did you know them as students at Berkeley, or were you were just
No. No, well, I knew Joe was with the band for. I roomed with him and everything. Ran on through for a year or two. I don't know how long, but no, that's. But I guess within and of course, I think George was. I think he said he was about 40 years right now with Berkeley. I'm only there like 25 years or so.
Right.
So he was a little there before. But, he was probably knew about me, in the Woody Herman Band and just followed me. Yeah.
Well, what do you think about especially in this, just sort of that, the importance of that sort of Lovano, Bergonzi, Garzone, Liebman, Brecker, the list goes on and on. But, I guess maybe more to the point, is there more vocabulary? Is there always, are kids still searching for newfound sound, or what is your advice to them about finding their own individual sound?
Well, what I do is I tell them to go back to press, especially young and things like that. No, they have their own. They have their own direction. Actually, you like to teach them something over there, but they still remain with their own direction. Many of them, there's so many things. Everybody, like George, has a little concept. Whatever.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and I have mine, but still, they still go back to their own direction, in which they just work up things, by patterns and stuff and all that. They're good play. I got a couple of good players that came right. Unbelievable, actually. There's one thing over here that you probably don't know. Wardell Gray.
Oh my God, way out Wardell, dude.
Well, Wardell Gray, he was in Vegas and he got wasted, and I got a call from a guy from a Popsy, I guess his name was actually, and I joined the Benny Goodman Band.
Oh my God!
You didn't know that?
Wait a minute. Wait, I missed it. How did Wardell? How was Wardell involved?
Well, he died. He died, and he was playing with Benny Goodman.
He was playing with Benny?
Oh, Wardell.
Holy dude! No, I'm sorry. That is maybe the best story I've heard all year. That is unbelievable.
Oh yeah, he was Benny. Benny really dug him, and that's why. And I was playing like that, and that's why he dug me, and he called me Cheech. You know, if you call your buddy
Wait a minute. Wait, hold on.
Explain by your right name, you're not there anymore.
Brother Tiberi. No, I need. Wait, hold on.
I had a little thing with him, and he called me Cheech.
He called you Cheech, man.
Woody was in 1969. Benny. I joined 1959. Actually, I joined Benny's name, and I was playing with a group, a small group: Kenny Burrell, Ruby Braff, and Doc Severinsen.
Get out of here! Wait, hold on for a second. Hold on.
Yeah.
You're playing in Vegas with Severinsen?
No. I was playing. We were on the road.
You were on the road. You were in Vegas. Wardell dies, and then you joined Benny.
No, Wardell. No. The band was not in Vegas.
Okay.
I just mentioned that Wardell Gray, had got wasted.
Yeah.
And there was and Benny wanted an opening for a tenor player, and I joined the group. That was with and the group was made up of Kenny Burrell and Ruby Braff and Doc.
Oh my God! Are you wait a minute? Kenny Burrell was in the Benny Goodman big band?
No, he was in a small band. He didn't. No, we the band we used to go out on weekends, but not with Woody. It was who was leading the band? I forgot. Anyway.
So this is Benny Goodman, 1959.
1959, yeah. We played. Yeah. We played concerts at his hometown, which is great. It was up in
Stamford, Connecticut. Stamford, yeah.
Stamford, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Now, we played the band over there too, also as well. But the band went on the road, and the trombone player took it. What was the name? I forgot his name. Oh,
Irby Green. Irby. Irby Green.
Irby Green.
Yeah.
Irby Green took the band out on the road. Yeah, we were playing some gigs on the road. Yeah, Irving Green, and then every time we did as a small band, small group, we did it at the. Yeah.
Hold on. The small group was Ruby Braff, Kenny Burrell, Irby, you. Who was on drums?
Oh, I don't remember the name. I don't know. It was just. I don't remember his name. No.
Let me ask you a question, though. Okay, so I just want you to go a little bit deeper. You said Wardell was playing the way he was playing, and I was playing that way. What was that way?
Well, it was like Prez. It was like Prez, and,
right.
And it was very melodic. It wasn't screaming or anything. It was understood. Put it that way.
Right. It was translatable.
Benny wasn't certainly Benny, was playing the way he always played, and he liked the music that Wardell was playing. But Wardell was, was like, was playing, not outside or anything like that. Everything was understandable.
Wow, that's so beautiful, man. Did you have positive experiences at Fantasy Records in Berkeley?
Fantasy Records?
Yeah, Woody did a ton of albums at that point when you joined the band at Fantasy Studios.
Yeah, but it wasn't Fantasy though. It was the one up in what's his name?
Saul Zaentz owned it, didn't he?
Who?
In Berkeley, California, Saul Zaentz.
Yeah, that's right. In Berkeley, California. But most of the albums most of the concerts that I've done well, geez, I can't even remember them now.
Don't even worry about it. Were you ever in the studio, not for a Suds and Duds or jingle, your first record date in the studio? When was that?
First record date in the studio.
I mean, it was before Woody. I have to believe you were in the recording studio before you joined Woody Herman.
Well, let's see. I had I did a recording with Roos's Reed, and it was called A Coincidence. That was in the studio.
Wow.
That was in New York. I left the band for that, actually. Just Harold Danka was the piano player. He called. He had the recession with La Barbara, and with the trumpet player.
I cannot believe in the same interview you've talked about Greg Herbert and Danko. Yeah. I mean, dude, this is unbelievable. Wait, hold on. So it was, who was the leader? Was it Rufus's gig or Danko's date?
No, it was Danko's gig, right.
It was called Coincidence?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that is amazing. And so you were in...
I played all that, and wow. and what's his name? Trumpet player, jeez. Oh boy.
Give me a minute. With like Johnny Coles or something?
Harold.
Harold.
Harold, yeah. He's white cat, big. Harold.
Let's see here. No. Tom Harrell.
Tom Harrell, yeah, you're right.
Dream
Harrell.
Street.
Yep. La Barbara, Joe La Barbara on drums, Daryl Danka, Rufus Reed. That was 1979.
I've never, ever seen...
that was Coincidence, what's his name? Hugh Masekela or whatever.
Hugh Masekela, yeah.
Hugh Masekela, it was his tune, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Cool. That's so beautiful. So, yeah, it was... and it was liner notes by my dear friend and rest in peace, Herb Wong. And... Herb
Wong.
Frank Tiberi, saxophone and bassoon. Wow, I've never seen this record. So you're telling me that was your first studio recording?
Well, that was the first recording I came off of the band and did. I mean, one of the big things. I've done a couple of things actually earlier than that.
What were they?
Not to talk about. I don't. They were just. This was the first really recording that I... You did some
demos. Maybe you did some demos before that. Things that were never released on record.
Yeah, it was like Hometown, around that sort of thing.
I dig. Can you just talk about, how you still stay in the moment on the bandstand? You are...
Right now?
Yeah, I just, for younger cats, how do you get into the spirit mind and out of your thinking mind? It doesn't always work, but to me, the best music is when the musicians have all left their thinking mind and they're just it's coming through them.
Well, actually, I always enjoyed coming into a theater. Usually, theaters that we've done, to really lead the band and play. I mean, that was the most important thing that I was concerned about. I mean, I had solos to do also in conducting, and I had a lot of great guys that were in the band, and that was always nice to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Clack, Buddy Powers, Bill. I mean, we had Alan Broadbent. We had John Fedshock. You're familiar with him, right? Alan Vazuli.
What about John Hicks?
Oh yeah, John Hicks.
My favorite, all-timer favorite man.
Yeah, sure. My God, we had Pete Galliot and Gary Anderson is another great composer. And we had some great guys that came in and out. They never really stayed too long. But they came in, they would write an arrangement or two, they'd stay maybe 5 or 6 months, and they'd go off on their own, actually, and we'd always get somebody really great. Praise them. I mean, I've seen like millions of musicians. I was there 20 years, and that's it. I've seen a lot of cats come in and out. Really.
Frank Tiberi, no, Frank, it's, I really just wanted to say, I got another interview I got to do right now, but I want to be able to send you this interview. So maybe, what's the best way? Send through email or what's
email? Yeah, sure. F Berkeley. F Tiberi.
Yeah.
At Berkeley.com. No. So F Tiberi at Berkeley, and that's spelled with BERKEE. And that's edu. Did I make that clear?
Yeah, you did, man. And you know what? Let's stay in touch, man. It was an absolute honor to talk to you, man.
Great. I'll look out for the mail.
I'll send it along, man. Yeah, absolutely. Have a beautiful day, man. Yeah.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.